Good morning. Welcome to the January 8th edition of our Export Sales Report Review. I'm Pat McClatchy with the Ag Market Network. Welcome to our program today. We're going to go ahead and get started. We're going to go over our exports. Then we're going to talk about what's happened over the last week, possibly some things that the market is looking out at for this next week. And then we want to talk about some projects, or one particular project that we'll be introducing on the Ag Market Network in the future. Let's get started with cotton. Export sales appear to be good for cotton. The number, upland sales were 149,900 bales. That's up 68% from the previous week, but down 13% under the 4-week average. This is a good number considering the holidays. Some of these other numbers we'll see in grain and oilseed were not as good because of the holidays. This actually was a good number. China, 69,600 running bales. Vietnam took 34,600 running bales. And then we had Vietnam taking 34,600 running bales. The reaction of the market, cotton market has traded up about 10 points since this number has come out. It's up on the day about 15 or 20. Now let's go to the wheat. The wheat number, this was one, the wheat, the corn were two numbers that we expected to be light this week because of the holidays, and that turned out to be true. The wheat number was 151,000 metric tons. That's a marketing year low, down 57% from the previous week and down 61% under the 4-week average. The breakdown shows the Philippines took 201,400 metric tons. Iraq took 50,000 metric tons, and Japan took 28,300 metric tons. Looking for a reaction there. The wheat market actually was down a couple of cents since this report came out. Corn, the net sales were 387,600 metric tons. That's a marketing year low. That's down 57% from the previous week and 63% from the prior 4-week average. The breakdown shows that Mexico took 251,300 metric tons. Colombia took 63,400 metric tons, and Japan took 50,100 metric tons. The reaction of the corn market, corn's down about a penny or so since this report came out. Going to soybeans now, excuse me, the soybean number is 910,600 metric tons. That's a good number. That's up 49% from the previous week and up 39% over the 4-week average. The breakdown shows that China took 550,100 metric tons. The Netherlands took 134,400 metric tons, and Mexico took 82,000 metric tons. And the reaction of the market is that soybeans were unchanged. There was anticipation of good numbers in beans. So that's our export report. Looking at what's happened over the last week, we've seen not a lot of movement in cotton. If you look at where we were a week ago, the cotton market is unchanged from that level over the last week. Soybeans are up about 36 cents. The corn market has traded, it's pretty close to where it was a week ago, up about 2 cents. Wheat is about 13 cents lower. And looking at some of the news recently, the dollar strengthening has been a negative for commodities. Also, crude oil continues to move down. That reflects on commodities in general. And as crude oil sells off, sometimes you'll have days when the market takes that in a negative light. Crop report comes out next Monday, and anticipation there that we'll see some tightening in soybeans, and that will be, that will definitely affect the market. Looking at the different crops here and looking forward and what we expect, the cotton market for 2 months now is traded in a range between 58.50 and 62.84. That could continue, but we expect, true to seasonals, if we do follow the seasonal pattern, the market should start to trend up into the spring and early summer. With that, as we've reminded you in the past, there could be some opportunities to do some marketing during that time period. As far as some analysts, what they're saying, what upside potential we could have, old crop cotton possibly could move up into the 64 to 65 level. Here it is right now, trading at the 60-50 level. The new crop cotton during that spring and early summer could move up into the 70 to 72 level. Looking at corn and then looking at soybeans also, March soybeans have traded for the last 3 months in a 70-cent range. I expect that market also to trend higher going into the spring and early summer, as the competition between corn and soybeans for acres will probably cause those markets to trend higher. Right now, it's possible in the near term over the next week we could see both the corn and beans sell off again, but we think the trend will move higher into the spring and early summer and present marketing opportunities there. Corn, the corn market has been trading sideways also, but with a slight upward movement. Expect old crop corn to possibly move into the 440 area as we look forward in the coming months. New crop, we could see new crop corn. December corn right now is at 422. We could see that into the 450 level, maybe even a little higher. So those are expectations for the market, what's going on right now. I want to say a word to you about a new program that we're going to introduce to the Ag Market Network. It's called the Ag Market Alert. We will hopefully be putting this on our Ag Market Network site for farmers and crop marketers to use if they choose to. The idea behind this is that many times when large moves take place in markets, that farmers oftentimes aren't aware of it for some time until later in the day. We want to have a way for people that will sign up for this. They can pick the markets that they want to monitor, whether it's cotton, soybeans, corn, wheat, or even rice. And if we have large movements, we'll send out an email alert to them or a text alert to them, letting them know of the movement. It's just to make them aware in a more timely way that something has happened, and that allows them to be able to call their cotton buyer or call their elevator if there's anything that they're interested in doing to take advantage of those movements. In today's markets, and this has been the trend in previous few years, we oftentimes see very quick movements in the market, and many times those markets start to fade and move back after they do. So it's important to know that something has happened in the market and make them aware of it. Farmers are not watching the markets constantly. And so that's what the Ag Market Network wants to do, is to provide that service for farmers that have an interest in it. We'll have it on our site hopefully soon to explain it and to allow you to sign up for it. That concludes our meeting for today, the January 8th edition of our exports sales report. We hope you'll join us next week, and we'll look forward to discussing the crop report and what the market's doing and what's happening in the markets at that time. Thanks for joining us. We'll hope to see you next week.